Hey guys, welcome back. So on the other side of the house, we used to have a garden bed. The garden bed was just filled with weeds now. So we got rid of it because we want to utilize that space for something else. Now we have all this composite wood. Looking at that the last couple of days, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with it. And we decided, you know what? Griffin should have his own bed and something he can work with and play with and grow his own food. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this garden bed using the old reclaimed composite wood from that and anything else that we find around the house, and then we're going to fill it in and let him pick out his plants, and then he's going to be the one taking care of that. All right, so for Griffin's planter, what we're going to do is going to be 2 foot by 2 foot, and then the actual raised bed portion, this is actually going to be 11.5 inches high. The composite wood is 11.5 inches, and we're going to find scrap wood, and we're going to cut each of these to 11.5 inches so we can secure them to the inside corners of our composite. Now, before we do anything, we have to remove all of the old screws and nails, make sure it's safe to cut. Then we cut our 11.5 inch composite boards into 2 foot sections. Then we're going to take our scrap piece of 2x4, cut to 11.5 inches, and make it sure it's flush to the composite, right on the ends. You're going to do this to 2 boards, 2 of the 2 foot boards, and secure it. Now you may have some difficulty getting through the composite, or we did in this case, so I had to pre-drill the holes if they weren't already there, and then secure the 2x4 to it. Next, you're going to attach the second set of composite boards to the outside of these. You're going to screw it directly into the wood, and again, pre-drill if necessary. Now we're trying to minimize the amount of waste we have, so we're going to take the rest of our composite, we're going to cut it into a 2 foot section. Now it's not going to fully touch each other on the base, so we are going to have a gap. Now to secure the gap and make sure we're able to fasten it on all areas, we're going to add a piece of 2x4 right onto the middle so we have something to screw into. Now because the boards are older and bowed a little bit, we have some difficulty of fixing it the normal way with the rough edge out. So what we had to do is flip it around so we could actually bend it and secure it fully to the board. For a pedestal, we're going to be using paver stones that we had in the backyard. We're going to be repurposing those. We staggered the stack on them so it creates a little bit of strength. We went 4 high, and then we'll see what it looks like on top. And there you go. Here's Griffin's raised bed. Everything we used here was reclaimed, or we already had here. We just repurposed everything so he could have his own planter and plant whatever he wants. When he wakes up, he's going to go shopping the plants that we already have grown in the backyard. Now for the inside, we are going to be making our own potting mix. But first, I want to make sure that none of the potting mix will fall through the hole in the center. So we have some leftover wire mesh that we put in the bottom, and now we're going to be putting in some weed fabric just to make sure nothing falls through. Now create some space in here so we're not using all topsoil to fill this and make it unmovable. We're going to be putting some of our plastic containers that we got plants into. Now typically if this were a fixed garden that we were going to be using permanently or more frequently, we'd use the hugelkultur method, where we'd use some sort of organic material as a filler, and that would break down over time and enrich the soil. But since this is temporary, this will get moved in the fall and into coming winter. The plastic will work just fine to create that space and create that air, just as a filler to make sure it's 1, a little bit lighter and movable, and 2, I'm not using as much dirt. Now we're going to be adding our own potting mix. I'll leave the link for the video in the description below. So Griffy, you see this? Come on. What's that? Look right here.
What do you think that is? Does that look like something to plant in?
Yeah.
You can plant whatever you want in there.
That's going to be your garden.
This is yours, so you got to take care of this, okay?
And you can grow whatever you want to grow in there.
This is Griffin's garden.
It's mine.
This is yours. Do you want to go pick some plants out and put them in there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Now the decision-making process for a toddler takes a while, so we'll speed this up. Before we start planting, we're going to get the soil wet and damp and then start getting everything in the ground. We don't want to drown the plants out or drown the seeds once they get in. Along the back, we are putting sweet peas. Here we're placing a pickled cucumber. Opposite of that, we've got our Cherry Falls tomato. We got Griffin's favorite, the basil is in the center. In the front left, we have our blue Scotch curled kale. In the front right, we are putting nasturtium and Swiss chard. I'm going to add some final touches and give them a sign for the garden. So I'd say it turned out pretty good. He likes it so far.
It says Swifty's garden. And thanks for watching, and see you soon.